Hello my friends, my name is Amanda with Manda Panda Projects, and today I have this adorable wooden teapot that came from Woodpecker's Crafts, and we're gonna make it into something super cute, you guys. I am trying to work my way through all my wood cutouts that I have and just all my services, and I'm really trying to use them up instead of just stashing them. For some reason, when I get cutouts like this, it takes me a long time to craft with them, but I am doing it. So this one is the first up, again, from Woodpecker's Crafts. You want me to send you the link? I'm happy to share it with you. So I just took this scrapbook paper. This is from Hobby Lobby. It's like Country Cottage. And I traced the wood teapot onto it. And then I cut it out. And then to get the handle there, because it's hard to cut like the inside of the handle out, I just went over it really, really hard with my pen, like several times until I made enough indentation to just rip the shape of the handle out. So there we go. But now I'm gonna try to pull out some of the green in this scrapbook paper. It's like a pink distressed floral with a sage green. So I'm gonna paint the spout, the top, and then I cut a little bit off the bottom to make it look like the bottom part of the teapot is also this like sage green color. So it's actually called Moss from Waverly. So I just painted a little spout, and then I did all of the edges of the teapot because it's like a good 1/4 inch thick. So you'll be able to see the edge. I didn't want to leave it just that raw wood. So I painted that. Then I went ahead and I painted the bottom. I painted the top, but I did leave that little itty bitty tippity top part raw because I'm gonna go in with some of the gold leaf rub and buff, and I just make that tippity top of the lid gold. Oh, isn't that looking pretty? You guys, make sure that you are subscribed to my channel. Make sure that you're following the page Amanda Panda Projects, because if you're seeing me for the first time, you might never see me again if you're not following. All right, so I just took my Mod Podge, I put a nice layer on there, and then I decoupaged the scrap paper right to the top of this teapot, smoothed it out with my brayer. I made sure it was nice and dry before I start sanding the edges with my gator sander. This little gator is perfect because it helps I can get in the small spots there. I'm able to get right in the handle and smooth that out. Sanding it makes a world of difference, you guys. It makes it look like it was like made like that rather than just kind of slapped on the top. Okay, so now we want to grunge this bad boy up. So I use Kiehl's dark wax. You could use like a Waverly antique wax if you wanted. And I use this little blending brush, and I'm just gonna grunge all around the edges. I'm gonna focus heavily on certain areas. You know, I go a little heavier, a little lighter on others. Tend to go a little heavier like in the corners. And then it just takes a little while to do, but you just blend, grunge, blend it in. I use my finger a little bit. If I get too much, it's fine. You just go over it with your finger and, you know, buff it out a little bit, I guess you could say. So yeah, I just take a little while to do this. I don't show every little second of me doing it because this did take me a good like 5 minutes or so to do the entire thing, but once I had all the edges done, I went ahead and just kind of did a little bit on the center of the scrapbook paper just to tie it all together so it looks like it's an old, vintage, worn, distressed little teapot here. So after I'm done grunging it up, I took a little bit of the gold rub and buff, not a lot, and I just went over the edges just a little bit. You probably can't even really tell on the video. In person, you can see it a little bit more. But I went all along the edges. I added a little bit to the center there. It all just ties it in very nicely. I love rub and buff. I'm going to put on some Totally Dazzled, and I love me some rub and buff with some Totally Dazzled. All right, so now we want to make a little bow. So I just take some white. It's not really lace. It's more like a cotton lace. And then I take some of this little, like kind of like a lighter green ribbon, and I use that one. And then I'm going to take a pinkish ribbon, and then I'm going to use that one. I have some really heavily coffee stained muslin that I use. That's just like muslin's like a fabric. Here we go with the pink. And I didn't make I think I just used like one of each, maybe 2 of the lace and 2 of the muslin, but I think just one of the rest. Oh yeah, I forgot. I added in some of this gold tulle into the mix. Just a little bit, just to give it a little bit of shimmer, to tie in with that rub and buff, and I love the way that looks. I've had this tool forever. I had it since last fall, and I have a little bit left I'm using up. So I use my Bodabra to make the bow. You guys, you don't have to have a Bodabra, but I love it. It does help. I'll never go back to hand making bows ever again. I actually remembered to keep the twine on there, so I'm able to tie it around the handle. I do add a little bit of hot glue to it as well, but tying it just makes sure that it stays on there nice and good. So I'll add a little hot glue, and I added in a little bit of greenery and just a little bit of this dried florals that I have that I got while I was on a hike. And then that little dangly, totally dazzled, just absolutely makes this little teapot, you guys. It sets it over the edge into cuteness. And there we go. There she is, all done. Oh my goodness gracious. So you can see that rub and buff there on the edges. I just love how this turned out, you guys. Let me know, what do you think of this? What do you think of that cute little bow, the little bling? Let me know in the comments. I would love it if you would share this video with a friend. And are you gonna make one of these teapots too?